How's it going, YouTube? This is Wi-Fi Memory here today, bringing you guys some more VGC 2021 action. Today we are rocking out with our January team of Kingdra, Rillaboom, Politoed, Zapdos, Moltres, and Metagross. If you've been watching this channel for a little bit, you guys have seen how awesome this team has been doing. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys the rental code. The question of the day is not really using Metagross as much as I want, and yet he is a pretty strong staple. Could be considered a strong staple for the team, but is that just because he's a good mon, or is that because of his typing and stuff? So I want to try and figure that out. So if you guys have any suggestions on a replacement mon for Metagross, we'll try that Pokemon out. If that Pokemon does more than what Metagross is doing, then obviously we'll switch him out. I'm honestly, the only reason I really have Metagross on the team is to help me counter Glastrier. So if you guys can come up with decent counters against Glastrier, but that can also be doing other stuff for the team, definitely interested in what your thoughts are on that. Other than that, though, like I said, Metagross ain't bad. His typing and stuff isn't bad, but check that rating out. I know it's been a little bit since I battled too, so I know it's gonna go up a little bit, but 975, that's pretty good, guys. That is pretty good. Let's see if we can find any opponents. Alright, so we're still in top 1000 with 996. Yes, thank you very much. This team has been doing really good, guys. I mean, this is perfect proof, right? Battled a lot of top ranked players yesterday. Didn't really record them. I was getting ready to go to bed. My wife, she was getting ready, and I was like, well, I'm gonna just play a few games. Next thing you know, I stayed up like an hour playing like top rated players. I was like, oh my goodness, dude. And here we're winning, you know, like, oh my goodness, we're actually doing really good. So it is what it is. Alright, our first opponent of the day is AJ. He's rocking out with Thundurus, Urshifu, Incineroar, Tapu Fini, Rillaboom, and Galarian Moltres. I'm honestly okay with Kingdra Rillaboom here. Politoed and Zapdos. Those are like my mainstay, my main leads and stuff for most of the time. Other than that, though, everything should be. We should be okay. My only biggest concern is that big Thundurus lead, but really and truthfully, if he leads Thundurus, we should still be okay. I hear my phone going off in the background, so it looks like they got done calling. They stopped. They hung up or something. My wife is currently out of town. She's spending the day with her grandma, so I actually have some time. So my plan actually is to do a bunch of recordings and then throughout the week maybe edit, you know, but this is the first of the recordings, so hopefully my throat will hold up a little bit too. If you guys do remember in the last video, I was telling you guys about my sore throat and stuff. Hopefully that won't bite me in the butt too hard. Pretty much it's easy to see that he's wanting to go for a Tailwind with that Moltres, or Tailwind with the Thundurus, and probably Dynamax at Moltres. And honestly, I have no problem going for like a Max Geyser into Thundurus. And do we need Rillaboom? Yeah. Protect. If we can get this off. Okay. Protect. We'll protect Rillaboom this turn. Yeah, this is a Dynamax Moltres more than likely. Thundurus would be a very interesting Dynamax, but we'll be putting a lot of damage on him anyway, so it is Thundurus. Really? Really? Okay. I know what you're gonna go for is max airstream. Okay. I mean, I respect it, man. Good play. What's that Moltres wanting to do? Probably nasty plot? Maybe fiery wrath. But really and truthfully, that Moltres is not very threatening now. So yeah, let's just see what our opponent wants to do. Okay, so yeah, we get our protect off. And they're getting max airstream probably into Rilla. No, Kingdra. That does over half. That's all. That has to be Life Orb, right? Did a lot of damage. Yes, that is Life Orb. So that's very offensive. So I bet you my Max Geyser will do about 3/4 to this right now. Unless he's bulky offense. I don't know, but oh my goodness, that is bulky offensive. He took that really, really well. Okay. Honestly, we probably outspeed him now, though. Right? Rillaboom's in one of those weird situations because I need to save him for the Tapu Fini. Zapdos. I need Zapdos for the I need Zapdos for the Moltres, so we're just gonna have to keep. We're gonna have to switch Politoed in. Zapdos is also pretty good against the Tapu Fini too. If we happen to have to sack something else here in a minute, we'll probably sack Rillaboom. Max Guard. Okay, smart play. What are you doing though to our? You know you're going after our Kingdra. Actually, Fiery Wrath. Do we live this? We do. Both mines take it decently. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let's go for another Max Geyser. I think we'll be fine doing that. Politoed probably. Let's Scald that Moltres. Get some big damage on it. You're actually withdrawing your Thundurus. I guess he was kind of hoping for that Fiery Wrath to pick up a lot of damage. Urshifu comes out. Unless Urshifu is Focus Sash, he ain't taking this. Which he probably is. Yep, he is. Most Urshifu are Focus Sash. You're starting to see a Choice Band being more common, but either way, yeah, we're fine. Ooh. That was a low row into a high row into our Politoed. Very, very interesting. Dang. Okay. Okay. Well, we got Rillaboom and we got Zapdos. Just kind of have to hope for Zapdos to kind of pull on through because it. Yeah, jeez, man. Good thing we're at the best board position though for it. Depends on as well as who is his last Pokemon. We know he has Thundurus. If it's Tapu Fini, Rillaboom, or Incineroar, which those are the three that he's got. Honestly, I still feel very great about our odds. Let me Thunder right here. Moltres goes for Protect. And Detect. Okay. I see what you're trying to do. You're probably trying to wait out our rain and our grassy terrain. And honestly, that's how they're gonna win. If they do that, you know. So we'll see what happens. We still get all that. How many more turns? We got one turn each for those. So we'll definitely Glassy Glide and Thunder. What I like about Thunder against this Moltres, it's a one-shot. And not many things can just one-shot a Moltres. But this right here, this Thunder, it will one-shot a Moltres. At least the Moltres I went up against so far, it's one-shotted them. So, let's see what happens. Sucker Punch into my Zapdos, we take it pretty well thanks to that defensive boost. We knock out the Urshifu. Alright, and we should outspeed. Actually, we don't. Ooh, that could be. That's a lot of damage. Alright, so that's got some speed investment, so that means it doesn't have as much bulk. Yep, one shot at it. Alright, so the rain does stop, but we're very, very low on health. He's got a Thunderous that's decently on health, decent health. And then we know he's got... Well, actually, we don't know who his last one is. Rillaboom. Oh, okay. Okay. So, what we need to try and do... At least we got a grassy terrain back. You know, that's a good thing for us. I think right here we just want to double protect to make sure he don't get that don't get a fake out off on us. Most definitely. Alright, there's that fake out. And there's a wild charge. Okay. Really and truthfully, can we stop that Thunderous with a Glassy Glide? If we can, we can go for a Hurricane into that Rillaboom. I don't think the Glassy Glide will pick up a KO. I just don't think so, but we'll find out. We will find out. It does! It picks up the KO. That's huge. Rillaboom has a lot of powerful attacks. His attack stack and everything's nice. We hit the Hurricane too, which is fantastic. We'll get the Confusion hacks as well. Alright, do you hit yourself? I know you're going for that big wood hammer. You go for that knockoff into our Rillaboom. That's the wrong target, Chief. That Miracle Seed comes in clutch, guys. That did so much to Thunderous. It knocked it out. Oh, I was not expecting that. But that was the play we had to make. Was to get the KO there. We got the KO. Wow. I don't think the battle is necessarily over, but I mean, wow. Glassy Glide probably into our Zapdos. Do we eat it? We do! At free health. Alright. And then we do not connect the Hurricane this time, but another Glassy Glide looks like it's going to be picking up a KO into his Rillaboom. And I have no issue going for a Glassy Glide and a Hurricane once again. You knock out, you go after one, but you can't go after both. And we pick up the KO. We won the game. Guys, that is awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Alright, so that last battle was super crazy clutch at the end. Sorry for the fade transition or whatever. Had to go and get some stuff done. I heard my phone buzzing during that last battle, so yeah, some editing magic that will fix all of that, so you guys won't have to hear that. But anyway, looking at our next opponent, we're going up against Worker Bees. And he's got that Urshifu, Rotom, Rillaboom, Pheromosa, Neoligo, and Stakataka. Alright, let's see what we want to do against this. He is fairly rain weak. And that's what I like to see, you know. Rillaboom's an okay lead. Could he punish the Rillaboom though? That's the big question. Because we still don't know necessarily what that Urshifu is. I think honestly though, if we wanted to lead... We don't want to lead one of the birds because of that Pheromosa is going to be a big problem. Not Pheromosa, but the Neoligo is going to be a big problem. We could go Metagross. And then have a Politoed and Zapdos in the back. I don't necessarily think we need that defense boost so much in this game. If we can get rid of that Urshifu early as well, that might be our goal, is to try and get rid of your Urshifu early. We should have this game pretty easily, in my opinion. That Neoligo could be an issue too, though, but it really just depends on what's going to happen. We'll figure it out. We'll find out. He's got Urshifu Dark and Pheromosa. Okay. So I'm really not a huge fan of having Metagross in right now. Max Airstream for sure into the Urshifu. And honestly, I have to switch him out for a Politoed. Get the rain up. Politoed's nice for that speed control. Really and truthfully, Metagross is really weak to a lot of his stuff, but Rillaboom wasn't going to be doing much better in this game. You know, Rillaboom, I don't know, that Glassy Glide into a Pheromosa play might be pretty, that could have been pretty useful. We'll just see. Because now we pretty much for sure know that he ain't Dynamaxing. He should be Dynamaxing this turn. It should just be us, right? Get Max Airstream off. He's probably Focus Sash Urshifu. And we'll just try and start doing a lot of big damage to him. And then we'll see what happens. He actually is not Focus Sash Urshifu. That was Choice Banded, more than likely. And that's starting to be, like I said, more and more common. And I'm happy to see Choice Band more common than Focus Sash. Because Focus Sash is a pain in my butt. Icy Wind. So he was probably expecting to outspeed Archindra with that Pheromosa, because Pheromosa just outspeeds everything. But not the case with Archindra getting a really, really fast speed boost, you know. Now we got that max. Now we're basically at neutral speed because of, thanks to our Max Airstream, right? What does Rillaboom definitely wants to go for a Glassy Glide into our Politoed, right? Do we want to get rid of that or the Pheromosa? Pheromosa now probably has the guaranteed Focus Sash. Getting rid of Pheromosa is not going to be too easy right now, but we can get rid of this Rillaboom. Switch Politoed out. Probably back in for Metagross. If Metagross takes a U-turn per se, you know, that activates our weakness policy. So that wouldn't be too bad. Any bug move from this Pheromosa. Now it's actually going to be Dynamaxing, so that might not be ideal though. We'll see what happens. This is going to be the Rillaboom. Okay, so that's not as bad. We should be doing a lot of damage with our Archindra into this slot. He actually has the Flying Reduce Berry. Okay. One more of those though and we should KO, and I don't see him KOing us. At least this turn. I hope he ain't KOing us. He goes for Leer? That is actually pretty cool. Defense fell. I'm actually curious to see if that's a -1 or -2 on our defense. That knocks us out. Holy cow. Okay. That was a fair play. Good play. I think we'll still be going into our Zapdos though in this turn. I think we definitely gotta get rid of that Pheromosa. Yeah, we definitely have to get rid of that Pheromosa now. But we gotta put pressure on that Metagross too. That's the hard part. Or that Rillaboom. That's pretty tough. That is really, really tough. I think, I don't know, Zapdos is not feeling too threatened. Let's go for a Hurricane into that. And we'll just, well actually I want to check something first. It's oh, Okay, so Metagross didn't get that defense drop because of his ability. So what's actually Zen Headbutt to Pheromosa? Just trying to get that thing off the board, at least get some damage onto it. Icy Wind. That's fine, let Zapdos be slow, you know? I don't mind. Zapdos should take any attack this Rillaboom wants to throw at it. Relatively okay, I would imagine. We don't knock out the Pheromosa. It does have the Focus Sash. Now that is confirmed. Drum Solo into probably Meta Zapdos. Zapdos eats that, my man. Let me show you my big Hurricane, by the way. Go ahead and get that huge KO. Remember, Hurricane is a 110 base power attack, and it's 100 accuracy because of the rain. Yeah, it's pretty much a Dynamax move that I don't have to Dynamax for. Zapdos is a Dynamax mon that you don't have to Dynamax. So imagine when I do Dynamax, his moves are like 150 base power. Yeah, that sucker hits like a truck. Alright, so Rotom happens to be your last one. It's almost an easy Thunderbolt that he's wanting to go into our Zapdos with, I'm assuming. He probably don't want to necessarily... We got Politoed in the back. So what I need to do is to get this Pheromosa off the board. I know doubling into it may seem like why, but we got Rotom checked. And whichever mon he chooses to attack with that Rotom, the other mon will be able to pick up the KO onto the Pheromosa. Actually, Metagross will just go ahead and pick up a big KO onto that Pheromosa, which is fantastic. Thunderbolt probably into Zapdos. Okay, that's fine. Like I said, doubling into Pheromosa there meant that we can come in with our Politoed next turn. And our Politoed is Choice Specs. Being Choice Specs Politoed in the rain up against a Rotom. You know Politoed's very threatening to our opponent right now. We can just Scald and that will do a lot of damage. I'm going to be going for Zen Headbutting as well. Hopefully Zen Headbutt will hit. And it does. So now we're potentially getting the flinch. You know, he eats his berry, that's fine. Potentially getting flinch. Potentially even living a Thunderbolt from this Rotom anyway. With our Politoed. Because Politoed is bulky. Look at that. You know, Politoed just... He takes hits, dude. And then he punishes them all. He punishes the opponent with that big Scald. Choice Spec Scald. That's how we win. Good game to my opponent. And I love playing Pokemon. Pokemon is probably hands down one of my favorite games to play. And this game really made it really fun, you know? Pokemon to me is almost like puzzle solving. And you do these double battles, you know, you puzzle solve. Yes, there is some RNG involved and all that. That's even more fun. The little bit of surprise in there, you know? Now we're 544 in the world, by the way. That's awesome too. But Pokemon's like puzzle solving. You gotta find that right Pokemon that lets you win majority of the games, you know? And you gotta bring in the right ones up against the right matchups and stuff. And if you do and you win, then that's rewarding, you know? We're going up against 939 in the world. Okay. See, like right here, I already know what his team somewhat wants to do. That Whimsicott's probably a fake Tears. It's probably got Tailwind, you know. Landorus, Neoligo, Articuno, Dorudon, and Cinderace. So he's probably wanting to be a speed team, but he has that Trick Room plays if he wants to. Really and truthfully, it's trying to predict who are they going to be leading. Honestly, I don't have a problem with Kingdra Politoed here. Right? Because I can just put a lot of pressure early. Definitely, I still like Rillaboom. Even though there's quite a bit of super effective mons out there. I don't know. Realboom's okay, right? He's not the greatest. Metagross don't look too bad though. Metagross looks fantastic in this scenario. And you guys are probably screaming at me right now. Bring Moltres! Bring Zapdos! And one of those I think is probably correct. Let's go Zapdos. Zapdos is kind of like that nice little go-to mon. Those thunders and those hurricanes in the back, you know, like I was explaining to you before, that 110 base power, 100 accuracy is like a Dynamax move. Those are free Dynamax moves that you can just throw onto your opponent for damage. And hey, that's how you get wins. You know, those big moves sometimes. Zapdos probably wouldn't have been a bad lead here either. If I wanted to do Zapdos Politoed, then have Kingdra and Metagross maybe in the back, that wouldn't have been too bad. But here we are with this board instead. First thing I want to do is get rid of this Whimsicott. First thing, get rid of Whimsicott. Whimsicott being the support mon. Both of these mons are actually support mons, but Whimsicott tends to be a little bit more supportive. Oh, he is not going to like taking this attack. Okay, well, he'll take it. But he is probably not expecting both attacks going into Whimsicott. But with me, the first thing that I tell myself, and last game was, we played it somewhat weird, where the Pheromosa was the supported mon. You know, we had to figure it out that it was a support mon before we really started targeting into it. But we know Whimsicott's a support mon. My rule is, let's get rid of those support mons. If you get rid of those support mons, it makes those offensive mons less and less scary. Thankfully, Articuno missed his Hypnosis. Wow, you hardly ever see that. You hardly ever see that going in my favor. Okay, so we got big damage on both mons. Let's go for, I think you want Max Wormwind into the Articuno, in case if he wants to switch something into it, you know, like, let's see, he's got a Landorus or Cinderace potentially to want to come in. We Max Wormwind. That really cuts him from wanting to do that. Muddy Water did plenty of damage last turn. If it's single target, I could see it honestly knocking out this Durarudon. It will not be this Articuno. That is actually a pretty good play, because he could probably potentially even live this Max Wormwind, which he does. It does proc a competitive boost too, which is not in our favor, but we do have speed control at the moment, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's see what this Durarudon wants to try and do though. He may not be doing anything. If our Muddy Water connects, we should probably be picking up a big KO here. Not quite a KO, so let's see what he wants to do. Probably a Draco Meteor, Dragapult. That's just not enough damage. Dragon Pulse into our Kingdra. He didn't get the damage that he wanted. Let's go for Max Airstream. Make sure we get some more speed. I'm okay with Muddy Watering as well. Let's go ahead and get rid of that Articuno. We'll get rid of that Durarudon, and then we should be pretty good. We'll be really good, guys. I mean, this is, everything's looking fantastic for us in this third and final game of today's episode. Yes, I do understand that we are out of Dynamax turns now. But getting both of these KOs, as long as we hit this Muddy Water, we're looking good. Muddy Water comes out, Muddy Water connects. Yep. Fantastic. Yes, we're out of Dynamax turns, like I said, but we should still be okay. Really depends on who he has in the back. We know he has Whimsicott. Whimsicott doesn't do much. We can honestly Hurricane it. And he's got Neoligo. Okay. A Hydro Pump and a Muddy Water into that Neoligo. Understand. One of my big rules is knock out the support Pokemon first. But I think right here you actually want to try and knock out the Neoligo. Neoligo is going to be going for Dynamax. You don't want him to get that off. If he gets any KOs, he gets that special attack boost, and things will look ugly. So we definitely want to take him out. Definitely want to take him out. There's that Dynamax. So yeah, we'll see if we can. I know we should be able to outspeed. If he gets a Tailwind off, I know Kingdra will definitely outspeed. Politoed is the one I'm kind of worried about to see if he'll outspeed or not. But either way, I think we're still sitting alright. Safeguard prevents any critical hits, but I'm not really relying on that. Look at that. Hydro Pump. Doing a lot of damage. Followed up by our Muddy Water to get the KO onto the Neoligo, guys. That's what I'm talking about. That's why this team is so good. We deny so many Pokemon getting that Dynamax, you know? A lot of people's like, man, it's such a bad idea to go ahead and Dynamax early. But if your opponent can't get no Dynamax at all, then why is it bad? You know? And I agree. Not every game you need a Dynamax early. But sometimes to throw your opponent off guard, you want to Dynamax a little early. And that, to me, that's just taking time playing with your teams, you know, and trying to figure out what kind of team are you. This team likes to Dynamax early, but I don't have to Dynamax early every game. Now, this team's main form of Dynamax is my Kingdra. But I have Dynamaxed Rillaboom before. I've Dynamaxed even Politoed. Choice Specs Politoed, I've Dynamaxed them. Yeah. And, I mean, Metagross is there on the team, too. He's a really good Dynamax mon. Even though I'm not the hugest fan of Metagross, I'm looking forward to try and maybe switch him out for a new Pokemon. He is still a good Dynamax option. I think having multiple Dynamax options on your team is good. You know, you want to be versatile, but at the same time, have that main one, and that will be Kingdra. Anyway, guys, hope you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments down below what replacement you guys would like me to try for replacing Metagross. Preferably like a Steel type or something, but really and truthfully, it's really hard to come up with a good Steel type. I've tried Duraludon. I'm in the process of EVing a Registeel at the moment. I don't know if that will work out either. I may just have to... I tell you what, guys, if you guys have an EV spread or something for a Metagross too that you guys are using, let me know. Maybe I can just change up the EV spread. For me, Metagross is just not doing enough. Metagross is good, but he's just not doing enough work. Granted, when he came in today's episode, you know, we actually won the game with him because he was a needed piece. So maybe we actually keep Metagross around. I don't know. But anyway, guys, you guys have been awesome if you guys sticked around this long. This is Wi-Fi Merriman signing out. Peace.